What's up, guys? This is Andrew Mays, just your local hometown Coburn guy. Just doing an interview here with Chandler Cole today, just a little bit of Q&A, trying to get him ready for maybe a big UFC debut. And right now I'm going to let Chandler just tell you a little bit about himself and his journey here.
What's up, guys? My name is Chandler Cole. I'm 20 years old, and I'm from small town Coburn, Virginia. Basically, a lot of y'all seen on Facebook that I'm trying to fight CM Punk, aka Phil Davis. It's a big deal. A lot of people don't understand what really I'm trying to do here. A lot of people probably think it's a joke, but they're looking for somebody who's not really experienced at the pro level. And I'm 11-0 amateur, but I'm wanting to make my pro debut. What better way than in the UFC? So. This is really important to me, and I hope a lot of y'all share this and like it, and just get the word out, because it just takes one person to see it, and it can take off from there. So I'm blessed already. I've had a huge amount of support, and I just want to thank everyone who has shared it and stuff so far. And this is a huge deal right now. This could be really big for me, for this town, and for Southwest Virginia as a whole.
All right, Chandler, so just give us a little bit about your background. I know you did some college wrestling there for a little while, came back home, started some MMA fighting stuff. So just tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you to this point.
When I was in 8th grade, Coach Shank, he's the wrestling coach was the wrestling coach at Eastside High School. He, back when we were at Coburn, he asked me to wrestle for him. At first, I was like, man, I ain't wearing no tights. That stuff's kind of fruity. At first, I thought it was MMA. I thought it was grappling. I can remember my first practice. This guy named Brian took me down and got me guillotine. And then I learned the fundamentals of it, and I realized it was more than just a sport. It was an art. I fell in love with that. And my senior year, I didn't win my state title like I thought I was going to. So I told myself I wanted to go to college and become an All-American. That didn't happen either. And when I came home from college, MMA was there, and it was convenient at the time. I was so used to competing all the time. So I took my first fight before I left for college. Actually, when I came back, I took it serious, and now I'm where I'm at, man. Just working hard every day with great coaches, great teammates.
All right, Chandler. So tell us a little bit about your motivation or your inspiration. A lot of us here know kind of what your background is and everything, but tell us what motivates you every time you step into the octagon, what you're really fighting for there.
At first, when I started, just the thought about me never winning a state title, I didn't feel finished. And that was a real big thing in my life. I had a lot of regrets. I worked really hard. My coaches told me I worked hard, but at the same time, I always thought, did I work hard enough? So, by my senior year, it really showed. Going into the state tournament, I was 42-1, and I lost in the quarterfinals against a guy no one had ever even heard of. He made it to the state finals, and he lost to a returning state champion. So, after that, I went to college, and I was motivated to win and stuff, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same as high school. I wasn't wrestling for my town, my school, or repping anything. So, when I started MMA, I just wanted to be a champion. I wanted to win. I wanted to represent my town proudly. And I feel like I've done that. And then, with my grandma, a lot of y'all, if y'all don't know, my grandmother got cancer when I was 15. And she fought for 5 years, and this past March, she passed away. And I feel like a lot of that's come from what I do is a real big entertainment aspect. We're fighters. We're called fighters, but I learned in that time she was sick, the true definition of what a fighter was. And I realized if she could go through what she went through at her age and the health that she was at, then there's no reason I can't come in here and work out hard every day and succeed in this sport. Because it takes a goal to set and then accomplish it. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm not trying to waste any talent that God has blessed me with. So that's really what my motivation is, just to work hard. I've seen true fighters, and I've seen people down and out, and I want to be the difference. I want to, if I'm healthy and God's blessed me, then I'm gonna use all my potential, not just sit around.
So, speaking a little more on that, would you consider this opportunity to fight in MMA more of a way of a life for you, or is it just a dream that you're chasing? I mean, what would you consider this?
It's a little bit of both. One of my ex-wrestling friends actually asked this question. I read it before we started, and it is a dream I'm chasing. I've always told everybody. They ask me, "Is your goal to be in the UFC?" And it's a thought. I mean, I want this more than anything. It's what I train for. But my goal's always been to go as far as God wants me to go. Realistically, if I was to walk out this door and slip and fall, break my neck, that's destiny. That's what God's wanted me to do. That was my calling. I done what I did, and I guess it's time to start something new. But until that happens, man, I really want to go as far as I can. And is it a way of life? Absolutely. You can ask my friends, all my teammates, Charles Philpott and Doug Williams. They talk to me all the time, like, man, you need to do this in college, you need to do that in college, which I'm enrolled in college, but you can tell I don't take it as serious as they do. And it's not that, before I say anything else, education is very important. I feel like everyone would agree there. But to me, if what you want to do don't involve education, then education is definitely my backup. I want to fulfill my dream. I want to fight for a living. I want to be able to fight and then go pay my bills off that, because I just love what I do, and I don't feel like I'm working at all when I'm working out. I get a great workout in all the time, and I just really bust my butt, and I just feel like if the opportunity presents itself, I'd love to take it. And so this is a way of life for me. MMA is definitely number one in my life. After my grandma passed away, and I don't have that to take care of anymore, because at first that's what was my number one goal, is to make sure she was okay, take care of her. Now that I don't have that, I feel like MMA it was a really good comfort zone for me when that happened. So I definitely would think that this is a way of life. I love what I do. I love training. I love working hard. Shelly Richards, she really blessed me with giving me opportunities to work out down here at the gym. And Adam Mays and Nick Jackson, all of my teammates, coaching me, working out all the time. So it's a way of life for sure. It comes number one, and I'm just extremely blessed.
All right. What do you consider to be the most rewarding part of fighting? Every time you step into the octagon, is there something inside the octagon you consider to be the most rewarding, or something outside?
Man, I'm not even gonna lie. You can ask my friends. My buddy Michael Trout, he always complains on me. He's like, man, I can't take you nowhere. I love going out in public and getting stopped by people I don't even know. Jimmy Bob down the street's like, hey Chandler, when's your next fight? And I'll talk to him like I've known him my whole life. And that's awesome that people know that I've accomplished stuff in amateur MMA, and I would like to think I have. Man, it's just an awesome feeling when people come up to you and just talk to you, and you're recognized in your town, your Southwest Virginia as a whole. I'm always getting stopped by people talking to me about fighting, when I'm going to do this, when I'm going to do that. And it's just awesome. And, kids come up to me all the time, say, hey, can I take a picture with you? You're Chandler Cole. And I'm like, absolutely. One of my big things is I'll be at a fight, a fight that I've just fought or something, and I'll have my belt. And dude, I'll scout out kids like looking at me from a distance, and I walk by them and I'm like, hey man, I'll handle my belt. And that's the best feeling in the world, is just having kids look at you like, oh my gosh, Realistically, I wouldn't say I'm not anything special, but to them, just to see that, it makes their day. When you can do that, it really is something special. So I love where I come from. I love the small town, the county I'm from, and it's very rewarding to be known and have people look at you and be like, good job. I love that feeling. It makes me feel like, regardless of the people who don't agree with what my lifestyle is and people who don't agree with the work I put in, none of that's going to matter if I make it. So it's awesome feeling.
Okay, so a little more to the matchup that we're trying to produce here between you and CM Punk. What makes you feel any different from any other up-and-coming amateur fighters that makes you want to gain national attention and be able to fight Phil Davis, a.k.a. CM Punk?
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm no better than anybody, but I will say this. compared to where I was, compared to where I'm at, I realized what sets me apart from a lot of people, and that's my work ethic and my confidence. No matter if you put me in there with any fighter, and when I go in there, I'm gonna think I can win regardless if the world is against me. That's just my mindset. It's always been my mindset. I feel like I deserve it as much as he does. I mean, he kind of stepped off the scene and just jumped in, and I feel like I want to add this too, because when I was asked this question earlier, I sat and thought about it. We got people like Adam Mays who has fought a lot longer than me. Adam Townsend right now, he's fighting in RFA, and he's a huge deal. And it's not, I wouldn't even consider it as me jumping line and skipping people. This is just what they're looking for right now. They want someone that is, what I have to bring to the table. And, if the opportunity presents itself, no one can look at me and say if they got that opportunity, they would turn it down because they don't deserve it. So, I'm not going to sit here and say I deserve it more than the next guy. I'm just sitting here saying that if I get the opportunity, I'm going to seize it. I'm not going to sit back and just be like, oh man, I feel bad that I went over this guy, because this sport ain't about that. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and regardless of who deserves what, if you get the opportunity and you turn it down, then that's on you. I mean, you got to take every opportunity you get, and I'm sure all the fighters would agree with me on that. So I wouldn't say I'm more deserving than anyone else, but I will say that with my fan base, and and I think if the fight happens, I honestly believe, I don't know who he's really training with, but it's UFC people. I think he'll come out and he'll say this small town kid's good. This small town kid, he's good, but I'll beat him. And I think by the end of the fight, he'll be like, holy crap, this kid is giving me everything I want, because that's just, and as well as I do, growing up around here, it's not like getting fed on a silver spoon. I don't know what his childhood was like or where he's from, but we know that with this opportunity he's been granted with, that he was gave it. And I just feel like, this is a great opportunity for me. I'm not going to say I'm more deserving than the next person, because I'm not. I'm just saying this is what Dana White's looking for, and this is what I have to offer. So that's a big thing on why I want this to happen, and I think it would be a good matchup. I think it would be really good for me, my family. I think it would be good for Southwest Virginia as a whole.
All right. So if you were to draw the fight against CM Punk, you got any predictions for us? How do you think that fight would go?
Honest to God, I know he's been training, but man, I've lived this great lifestyle. I saw an interview where Dana White said he never wrestled. That's crazy. Why would you want to fight in the UFC? You don't even have a wrestling background. Honest to God, I don't even think I would try to take him down. I would really try to. I would find out what he's been working on, and I would do that just to prove to him that us small town guys, we know how to work out, we know how to train hard. And, you can't substitute hard work. I don't care who you're training with. You can't substitute just grit, hard work, and the will to win. So if I get this opportunity, my prediction is I'm gonna win, absolutely. But I mean, if we stand up and decide to bang, I'll beat his eyes shut, honestly. And if he decides to try to take me down, I'll sprawl. I'll do my funk style worth of wrestling. Or if he sits there and baits a leg, I'll take him down and beat him to death like I have everyone else that stood in front of me. Like it's just, I really want this. And that's not me being cocky, that's me saying, this guy that is in front of us that wants this fight, if he wants it, he has it. We just got to get Dana White to see me. And that would be my prediction on the fight. I would absolutely win. I would think so. But realistically, that's not what they want. And when we all look at it, he's a celebrity. He's been training with some good guys, so he's probably a lot better than what I'm giving him credit for. But that would be also something I'd want. I wouldn't want to go in there and do that to him. I would want it to be, especially if it's on pay-per-view, I'd want to put on a show and just have people like, dang, that Chandler Cole kid, he came in there for real. No matter how much money and how much time he got to put in with those good guys. That small town kid came in here and he meant business. So that's a big thing I'm really hoping that Dana White sees this. I hope he sees all this other stuff I'm posting. And I hope he just recognizes it, man, because at the end of the day, this is what I work for. This would be awesome. This would be awesome for us. So that's my prediction, man. I think I'll win anywhere on the ground, standing up, anywhere. It's not a big deal.
All right. And just kind of wrap it up here, I mean, why do you feel you belong in the UFC with some other greats like Chris Weidman or Anderson Silva, just some of those guys? I mean, why do you feel like you belong up there with them?
I'm not going to put myself on any kind of podium to where I stand with those guys. Chris Weidman, I think he's like 12-0, 13-0. He just beat Vitor Belfort, Machida, and Anderson Silva all back-to-back. And he has a big fight this weekend against Rockholm, I think it is Rockholm. I'm not sure what his name, but that's a big fight for him too. And I wouldn't put myself in that category because I have not had a pro fight. I'm not a UFC champion, so I'm not gonna. All those guys that were mentioned are champions, and when people have to realize what Dana White's looking for. He's not looking for Chris Weidman to fight Phil Davis. Phil Brooks. Phil Brooks. He's looking for he is looking for a Chandler Cole, someone of my nature, someone that's had some. I think he wants some experience out of some kids that have fought amateur and is coming up. And this would be a big shot for. It's like I said, man. It'd be a big shot. I'm not trying to be the next Anderson Silva, the next Chris Weidman. I'm trying to be the first Chandler Cole, and that's why I'm trying to come onto the scene. It's like I said, it's a big deal to me. It'd be a blessing. So I wouldn't put myself on a podium with those guys, but I would put myself on a podium a lot higher than CM Chump, aka Phil Brooks. I definitely put myself above him. So.
All right, and I do need to apologize. I think we were referred to the old CM Chumpster as Phil Davis a couple times, so we want to get that out there. It's actually Phil Brooks, and I'm sorry. But one last thing, man, do you have any unfinished business in the amateur world? Anything you got to go get to before you move on, or are you done here?
I'm talking to Tim Lloyd right now. He's a promoter out of Tennessee. Puts on awesome shows. I just came back from a kickboxing match this weekend, dude. I was so pumped. I wish I had a mouthpiece. I took a fight. It was awesome. It's awesome being around the sport and being around different talents. Tim Lloyd's a good, serious guy, and he matches up well. And I've not fought for him yet, but it's kind of like my finale for my amateur career. I'm 11-0 right now, and I feel like I'm ready to go pro. And a lot of people around here. That's the biggest problem. You catch a lot of people in the Virginia and Tennessee area who fight for 3, 4, 5 years, and they're 11-0, 10-1, and stuff like that. They're beating the crap out of people. You don't need to sit there and do it as a hobby. You need to go and make some money off of it. Quit beating up people who's trying to come up in there. And that's how I feel. I feel like I've definitely showed my what I'm made of. I feel like it's the cut to 85. That's going to be a real big thing for me. I fought at heavyweight and 205 my last 2 fights. My last 11 fights, my bad. Last 11 fights, and it's just time for me to move on from that, go down to 185 to where I feel like that would be a professional move on my part. I've talked to him, hopefully he sees this video and he accepts the challenge. His name's Trevor Wilds. He won the belt he won an amateur belt at the last Apex, I think. And, he offered my friend a title belt where 2 belts were on the line. So I'm really hoping to do that with Trevor. I hope you accept it, Trevor. This will be a huge fight. I know you got I don't know if you're undefeated or if you have a positive record, but, you got what I want. I'm not going to go out and just fighting any bum. You got a good record and you're the champ. So I hope you take this fight with me, man. This will be my last amateur fight for sure, especially if this takes off. And after that, man, I pray to God. Just Dana White, just give me that chance to be that guy that from a small town that steps up and takes on a professional athlete. We're talking about, on another side, we're talking about a guy that's wrestled at WrestleMania against The Undertaker, things like that nature, wrestled John Cena and all those people. And, it's a big deal. I think it would be a good experience for anybody, not just me. I hope I'm that person. If you give me that opportunity, I'll seize it. We just got to get you to see this video, man. And I'm really hoping it gets back to you. And I hope you take this serious because I'm 110% for real about this. And, I sit here and I said, my TV skills ain't the best because, like I said, I'm from small town Coburn. And I tagged you in a post, I don't think you see it, but my exact words was, where the hell's that at? Everyone says that. We're in the middle of nowhere. So, kid from nowhere comes, fights UFC event, it'd be awesome, debut fight. So if you see it, man, just give it some thought, give it some real thought. This would be good, not for just me, but for y'all. I feel like, I got a huge fan base backing me up. And this would be something special, man. A lot of people don't get this kind of opportunity, so if you give it to them, I really want to take it. I want to do the best I can and give you the best outcome I can get. So, yeah, that's my thing, man. It's pretty awesome. I want to give thanks before we exit out of here. I want to give thanks to Elite Fitness. They're one of my good sponsors. I want to give thanks to Elite Fitness, Southern Steel, y'all my boys. Love y'all guys. Giving me all my tattoos and stuff. I want to thank Dough Makers. I ain't talked to y'all in a long time, but y'all have helped me out a lot. Back in the past, I have to stop by and say hi to y'all, but I gotta go a shout out so you know. Dino Noble and Mafinka in Norton. Those guys, my boy Raphael down there, he hooks me up, man. Cuts my hair actually. It's crazy. He's a good guy. That's my dude. And I want to give a big thanks to Adam Mays. You know, even though I came in this sport as that fat kid that no one thought could do anything, he's never once treated me like I was any less of an athlete, and he pushes me to the limit every time we work out, and that means a lot. You know, just the other day I was like, man, I need to go down on weight. He's like, no, you don't. You need to keep pushing. I was like, you know what? That's what I need. And I need people like that in my life, and that's just goes back to hard work and positive people. And I want to thank Coach Shank. You know, he's been a great role model to me ever since I was younger, and he still works out with me to this day, and it means the world to me. He's a great guy, great person. And of course, the Team Cole Nation. You know, I fought for Team Fast, but the Team Cole. I mean, it's the journey. It's the journey and the life that I've chose to live. And you know, if you're a part of it, thank you. I love y'all. You know, we are Team Cole. So love you guys.
All right, man. That's going to do it for us here at Team Cole. And hopefully 11-0 amateur Chandler Cole can land that fight with the old CM Chumpster there. We'll get that taken care of. But some unfinished business left in the amateur world. Maybe get to 12-0 in the Amies before we take on that fight. You guys have a great night.